It's another one I'm excited for.
Guys, this is Star Wars. And
Episode 9.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Which is an interesting title.
It almost feels like a betrayal of the last movie, but I don't know. That's just the title. I haven't seen the trailer
Well,
yet,
supposedly, from what I heard, J.J. Abrams is going to retcon some of the stuff that a lot of people got pissed off about in the last movie.
How are you going to
Remember, he did the episode 7.
No, that's not... No. How are you going to retcon something that just happened in your last movie?
He didn't do the movie.
Not his movie per se, but rather the last Star Wars movie.
Because the other director really butched shit up.
I know he did, but man...
I'm not mad. I'm happy. Do that shit. Fuck that.
Fucking A. Want to run that intro?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What up, everybody? It's NY for X, aka the next one. You can just call me X, but it's your boy. You gay, your boy. And this little motherfucker right here is...
A simple man of simple pleasures, otherwise known as the Moose King, but that's just me, and we are the Dust Budnies. All right, and I don't know. I don't know.
I'm excited.
I don't know what to feel yet.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight.
Your generation has the lineage.
I hate when they waste time on this. That's a TIE fighter.
Yes, it is. Cool stuff, though. Nice!
Ooh, new helmet.
Yeah!
Lando.
What's Lando doing on the Falcon?
What? I'm not gonna get it.
We'll always be with you.
Oh. That hurt.
No one's ever really gone.
That's the remnants! Oh, shit! No.
Yeah.
No!
Oh shit!
Am I going nuts here? Was that...
That was the remnants of the Death Star.
No. Not that. I knew that off the fucking bat, but... Is that a Palpatine laugh?
That's Palpatine.
I know we retconned an entire universe here, but are we still going with that whole thing of Palpatine jumping bodies to stay alive as he got older thing? Because
It's
from the
possible.
extended universe?
It's possible, or they could be going the route where you remember how he had a robots made so he could specifically talk through them and give orders. He could have jumped to a robot or something. I mean, who knows?
Oh dear God!
The Force. Remember, no one
It's
is
the Force.
truly
No one's
is truly dead.
It's true. It's no one's truly fucking dead, man. And if the
So-
good guys can have their spirits, there's no reason why the bad guys can't have theirs.
Now that's interesting to see Kylo
Yeah.
Ren fixing his helmet.
I mean, you know what happened to the whole moving on from your past thing, but I guess now we're going back to it.
No,
'Cause it looks like the cracks
no. The you gotta understand something. When he wasn't moving on from his past, he was conflicted. And have you seen The Last Jedi?
Of course I have.
Okay,
I
so
don't like it all that much, but I saw it.
So what he did was he was angry. He broke the mask not because I was shedding my past and blah blah. No, he broke the mask because he was frustrated. He was frustrated because he didn't feel like he was living up to that potential of Vader.
No, of course. I get that, but symbolically that's what that's about, is about breaking and moving on from the past. It's not necessarily not necessarily representative of how the character's feeling in that moment, but symbolically on screen that's what that's about.
No.
It's moving on into your own film.
No, not
How he went about it?
Not with Kylo. Kylo, he's strictly, just pissed that he couldn't live up to it, and he's struggling with his inner, I just killed my father bullshit, blah, blah, blah. He was still struggling with whether he wanted to continue to do this or not.
Oh,
But then killing Snoke basically just confirmed, you know what? This is my empire. I'm going to do what I want. And he pretty much is going to be the next.
But then why didn't he fucking take out Rey when he was standing right next to her, help her fighting all the
because
dudes who was there?
because he wanted her to join him.
No, she had already told him he's not going to do it, and that's why they kept fighting after that whole 9 yards.
Yes, so he was trying to kill her. That was the point of the fight, was to try to kill her. Duh. Why else would they fight?
So then what the fuck was the whole point of them talking in that whole one, to try and pull her over the side, and then he knew she wasn't going to. He could literally feel it.
No, he couldn't.
Yes, he could.
He tried to convince her still. That's like the Emperor.
That's stupid.
That's why people were mad at the Last Jedi.
Exactly! My point! It's stupid!
That's why I'm telling you.
That's why when I go to see a Star Wars movie, I go to just enjoy an intergalactic fight between lightsabers. I don't go for the story.
Fuck you.
I don't.
Fuck you.
If I wanted a story...
You know what? You're banned from this.
Bullshit! No! Wait! No! But I love all Disney...
What? No, sorry, can't understand. Oh wait, hold on. Break that. No, wait. I'm just ripping off the zipper so like that you can't open your mouth again. Hey, and check this out. Are you trying to train your nose to talk? Where's the stapler? I'll staple your shit together. This is now 2 series you've tried to ruin for me. Lion King and this one? I don't want to hear it. I will close you.
I only have so many orifices, man. I can't talk on my eyelids.
I'll staple those shut too.
Actually, let me give it a shot. Hold on.
You turned red and everything, bro.
I damn near blew out my fucking tear ducts.
No. You're not allowed to make fun of my series anymore.
I'm not making fun.
You got on my Lion King, and now you're getting on my Star Wars.
No! Look. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making fun of it.
No. I didn't say you made fun of it. I said you got on it.
I'm gonna get on it. I'm getting on it because I expect better. No, I expect...
Third time's the charm. Listen, I don't understand trumpet, so I'm not going to speak trumpet. I don't understand that. Hey, Cowboy Bebop out of nowhere. Hey, it's in space. It makes sense.
That's why I did it. No, I'm not trying to get on Star Wars. I'm not. It's just, I'm one of those guys who... No, I'm not even a Trekkie. Not by any means. I've never watched any of Star Trek. I love Star Wars in the sense that I love the concepts that it presents more than the way it presents itself, right?
Why do you drive me to drink? Why?
In the same sense that I love Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who, Star Wars, they have great concepts. As to how they choose to explore these concepts, I'm always a bit at war with them, right? I'm not one of those guys who's going to say, oh, I hate the prequels and this, that, and the third. I love the prequels. I love the original trilogy for what they do. You know what I mean? Just as a whole, for the lore they establish, for the worlds and the galaxies that they establish. You, Googling a fuck to give, aren't you? God damn it! But the point is, I do love these things. I just want them to be better. And again, like Doctor Who, there's a lot of great concepts here. But I feel like their metaphors are going to fall flat when they could do so much more from, because the imagery, the nature in which they present this, and the actors they've chosen to bring these parts forward do such a great job with what they're given. I just wish it was better. But I still love it. Same thing with Lion King. I still fucking love Lion King. I'm gonna go see it.
Excuses.
What? What about you, brother? How do you feel overall? How are you feeling about this? What are you excited for? What are you expecting?
I'm excited.
Bitch, shut that shit down. Wait.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
This isn't fair!
Did you just try to shut me up? You son of a bitch. You know what? Yeah. I'll explain to you guys now why what I'm waiting for.
That also works because Disney owns The Simpsons now, so you can do that now. Because, The Simpsons. Okay, I'll be over here.
Didn't I just kill this guy?
Yes. Yes, you did.
So, fucking fly out here. Okay, guys, so this is what I'm excited for. One, this is going to be the end of the Skywalker saga. Literally. So every main Star Wars film we've seen has been considered now the Star Wars saga. Now Star Wars being broken up into sagas, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. But what's real interesting to me at the end of the day, I want to know why it's called The Rise of Skywalker, out of all people. Because
Agreed.
Ben Solo is Ben Solo.
Agreed.
He might have Skywalker blood, but he's not a Skywalker.
Not a Skywalker, man.
I'm real interested as to why it says The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, absolutely. Like if
Luke
Vader...
is dead.
Yeah.
We know they're not going to do nothing with Princess Leia because God rest her soul, Carrie Fisher died.
Yes.
You know, so it's going to be very interesting to see why specifically Skywalker instead of Rise of Rey or Rise of the New Republic or you know, Skywalker.
Right.
So
absolutely.
That's the part that I really want to know why.
I think it's kind of playing into the whole legacy thing that they were going with the last movie, where you know the representation of what the Skywalker name was, you know, is kind of more impactful than they were in their living kind of thing, which is what Luke was shooting for.
There won't be no Jedis, there won't be no Siths. The new order will be the Order of Skywalker.
That would be an interesting way to go about it. Absolutely. And especially with how the last movie set up the whole aspect of anyone can use the Force kind of thing, kind of reintroducing that aspect of it, I think is very important, and I think that'll play a much bigger role this time around.
Yeah.
You know? And again, another aspect to kind of aid to what you're saying about the nature of Kylo is that the Skywalker bloodline, if you run back to Vader, right? Vader was an extremely high... what do you call it?
He had a
midichlorian user, right?
Midichlorian. But the thing was that he didn't have a father.
No.
His father was the midichlorians.
Exactly.
Technically, or the Force.
Exactly.
So he was basically Space Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And then what's weird from that is when you break it down to Luke and Leia, right? Their ability to use the Force is so minute compared to their fathers. You know what I mean?
You don't understand. Anakin... Here's the problem with Anakin. I felt for Anakin, and the reason why I understand a lot of people didn't like the prequels. Mm-hmm. I like the prequels because learning Anakin's story.
Absolutely.
That's what I loved about it, and I loved the fighting. The fighting was fantastic in the prequels compared to
the third one with the lava scene and all that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Compared to the old ones, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But what I loved about it is that it made lightsaber fighting look like an art form.
Yes,
it made it look like a real dance.
Yes, it did.
For example, when in Game of Thrones, when Arya is being trained by Syrio, right?
Much of the same nature.
What was it he told her? He didn't tell her, "I'm teaching you how to do that." He called himself her dance teacher.
Yep.
It felt like a dance while they were fighting, but
absolutely,
you could tell it wasn't like, "Oh, we're trying to do it coordinated." Mm-hmm. It felt like, "No, I'm trying to hit you with this, but we're doing it so elegantly, that it felt like a dance."
Oh, absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
So that was one of the things. But as far as that's concerned, what I understood about Anakin was he was a very emotional person, and being a Jedi meant you had to close off these emotions.
Yep.
And he wasn't able to do that. I mean, think about it. If the Force is raw power, and you put that in a person, wouldn't that be raw emotion?
Absolutely, especially with something like the nature of the Force. And one of the biggest things that I always enjoyed about the prequels that a lot of people didn't like was, you know, the political aspect of it. You know, the nature of essentially reversing the roles, where the bad guys were coming into power and our good guys were essentially losing connection with the very thing that they
and that's also what I loved about it, because it showed you how it got to it being an empire. You know,
which was very interesting.
And it's scary because that can happen in real life.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So again, to me, the prequel series wasn't as bad as everybody made it out to be.
It wasn't. And it did it. The only, you know, obviously one of the big things that all of us have a gripe with was obviously the midichlorian thing. You know, actually solidifying and giving the Force a foundation kind of ruined it in that space. But for the rest of it, I do agree. There was a lot of really great elements. But much to the same like the new generation of Star Wars and even the original trilogy, there's a lot of great concepts there. As to whether or not it's actualized in its entirety and fully explored, not so much, but what it presents is a great idea. Right. And it does a lot of fun things with the idea, even if they're not the most well thought out. But again, Star Wars is always a good place to run around and have fun in, you know? Yeah. Like, anytime you saw Vader on screen was like fucking great, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, like you said, the lightsaber fights, especially back in the prequels, sort of solidified that sort of battle dance style, you know what I mean? And helped to kind of move it in the era that it was going into the later one, and now with this new generation, we've seen sort of an intertwining of the original notion with the lightsaber battles, where it was simply like an old school katana fight, where one strike was all it took, kind of thing, sort of melded with the over the top choreography that we saw in the prequels. You know, like the fight with Kylo, Rey, and all those soldiers. That fight was so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch.
No, it really was. It really was. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you add all these elements, and a lot of people, again, why can't we just be fans of Star Wars instead of oh, I didn't really like the prequels because of such and such and such and such.
Yeah.
We all know George Lucas isn't the best director, but damn it, he tried and he built this whole damn universe himself.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
So
you know,
fuck the haters.
At the end of the day, let's all just be fans of Star Wars.
Yeah, and honestly, again, my final thoughts is I'm interested to see how this is going to go, and I'm interested to see why Palpatine's laugh was there. Now, I think
that's going to be fun.
I think it had to deal with the fact that was where, you know, parts of the Death Star landed, but still.
Could you imagine?
Laugh.
Right? Could you imagine, you know?
Yeah.
Like you said, they are trying to retcon some of the things. So, like, for instance, Snoke as a villain was supposed to be like the quintessential Palpatine of this generation of it, and we killed him off very early. So they might introduce a new bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy in the form of a new Palpatine.
I just realized something.
Oh, no. What?
I heard when this trailer got released,
yeah,
the actor who played Palpatine came out.
The old dude actor?
Yeah.
Oh, the one who played the one who played Palpatine in the original anthology, the newer anthology, and this anthology?
Yep.
Yes! That guy is awesome. I love his whole acting career. When he was young, he played an old guy, and as he got older, he played a younger form of his old self. I love it.
It's fantastic, right?
It really is.
30 years in the making.
Right? Good for him, man. Could you imagine the merchandising rights he's got on that shit? He was in Star Wars.
Yeah, but I don't think he gets merchandising rights.
Why wouldn't he? That's his face.
Because remember, they let Lucas keep it all.
Fuck, that's right.
Fox let him keep everything.
Fox was a bitch. Damn it. No wonder Lucas is so fucking rich.
Yeah, and then he was smart though.
Right.
Because check this out. He went to Fox, but kept the rights, which allowed all the parodies and everything to come out.
Yeah.
Like Spaceballs and all that.
Yeah.
But even after that, he sold everything to Disney.
Yep.
And what did Disney end up buying later? Fox. so he was smart. Here, you can have my product since you're gonna buy them anyways.
But in the meantime, guys, brush that dust off your shoulders. Brush that dust off that beautiful ass subscribe button. If you really like what we do here, comment, ready to link that bell, and drop us a tip on Patreon. Watch for the Dust Felonies Sparrow credits, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. And hate leads to suffering.
X, I am your brother.
I know.